What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Take a second to hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, and of course, hop in the Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below.
What's up, everyone? And on to a new week. We're done with those damn Eagles. We're on to another animal, the Buffaloes. The Bills.
I'm just a Bill.
So again, we're going to talk a little bit about that tonight. Josh Allen and his bleeding Buffalo Bills over there. But hey, listen, we got to talk about our own team here too.
They are an endangered species, aren't they?
They are. They're going to hopefully make them extinct on Sunday afternoon. But we're going to talk about the game, of course. And also, Jerry spoke. You know, some thoughts about Dak and his contract. Some thoughts about McCarthy going forward. We're going to discuss it here and more on My Cowboys Family, as well as NFL news, updates, and info. But it's always about that star over everything here. And it's about the stars that make the world go around here on My Cowboys Family. The family members representing the boards, baby. Why don't you let them know who it is that's on the top spot as our sponsor of the week?
A huge and extra special shout out to the man, Jason Renfro.
Yeah.
Representing as the sponsor of the week and the membership gifting king.
Right.
Although if you look up above, we have two other representers. Stanley Smith holding it down as the Cash App king. And a big mahalo to Marco Seppian. He's got 77 points on that stream, boss.
Yes, when you look at the leaders this week, of course, Stanley Smith, the Cash App king. But the leader right now is this guy right here, IB Thunder. The total of 10 in the Cash App, so that's the number to beat right now as he's leading the way on that side of things. And when you look at the person who's leading the overall board and the gifting membership board, it is Bootzilla in first place, above everyone right now. So much love to him, although we did have a pre-stream gifted membership to Lost in Translation, gifted by the great Skeptical Fan, who currently is in second place on actually both boards right now.
Yeah.
So
huge shout out to you, Skeptical Fan. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Number 2 on the overall board, right behind Bootzilla. Number 2 on the gifting board, a couple back on Bootzilla. So the battle continues. But there's a lot of different ways of dropping the love, showing the love here. Like some of the best ways is gifting a membership. There's also joining the membership and the perks that come with it. There's 4 different levels. There's, of course, super chats, and there's, of course, the thanks button. But there's also 4 ways that kind of contribute to the Cash App side of things.
Yes. Of course, you have the Cash App money sign My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, the regular PayPal link, and, of course, last but not least, the Streamlabs link lets your comment show up on screen just like a super chat.
You know it. And, of course, we give big shout-outs to those in the star and over everything level memberships. So, baby, who are they? What's the names here? On the nightly, we rep them.
Thank you to Skeptical Fan, Jason Renfro, Lincoln Kane, Mary Alvarez, Andy Potched, Marissa Sparkle, Dwayne Brassard, and Da Lunatic.
Yes, much love to everybody there on all these sides of things. And when you talk about the star level and over everything level, there is a monthly membership raffle we do for those top 2 levels, and those names you heard, and you can join them. Are in the raffle for this weekend, I should say, in the star level, over everything level membership, where you can win a sewn and stitched jersey. Many different choices to choose from, new and old, different styles. You know the deal here, guys. Much love to Cowboys Mosh for making that happen. And hey, you can win one here if you're in the star or over everything level memberships. So you have to the end of the weekend here, at the end of the week, to jump in that if you want to have a chance to win one of those jerseys, right?
That's right.
Now let's do the nightly shout-outs here and see who's in the house ready to discuss some Cowboy football right here with us here on MCF.
A huge shout out to Corporate Liaison. And shout out to Cassie as well, always.
Yeah.
Tammy Soltis, much love. Asmodeus representing. Skeptical Fan, always staying skeptical. We have Uncle Charles, y'all. What's up, Uncle Charles?
Yeah.
Much love. Redman R, exactly. The Bills have already been given the smackdown on the world's biggest championship stage by us.
4 times in a row. Overall, twice in a row, back-to-back by us.
That's right. We have Dallas Cowboys 92. Hello. Griff 181. Peace and love to you. Jason Renfro.
Yeah.
The sponsor of the week and membership king himself. Mike Aldana in the house. What's up? Oh, cool. Hello and hi. Bobby Garrett. Bland pick 6 off of Allen. Hey, let's make that happen, right?
I can see it happening.
I think freedom first. I think you were first today. Good for you. And of course, Lost in Translation, who was gifted that membership by Skeptical. Huge shout out to him once again. I think that's everyone here so far. As more people trickle in, I'll make sure to give them their hello and hi. But baby, what's going on with our Dallas Cowboys today? I know usually Tuesdays are a little bit quieter on the Cowboy front, right?
We got some NFL news as well. By the way, also new emojis. If you're wondering, the Buffalo Bill emojis are here. If you're in the membership at any level, you get to drop them whenever you want, especially if there's a Bill hater in here, a Bills Mafia's in here, you got to bring it. So, let me start off with a couple things here, like just basic NFL news when it comes to the broadcasting booth. NBC has reportedly removed the great Al Michaels from NFL playoff coverage, which is an unexpected move that they brought to the table there. Again, to me, he was not that bad, Al Michaels on Amazon Prime. I mean, there's only so much you can do when it comes to the Thursday night games, usually a trash. Of course, the one that wasn't was the Cowboys-Seattle game last Thursday, right? So, again, he called a good game. Cowboys-Seattle game was an exciting game. The other game's usually a trash. That's the thing for Al Michaels. A lot of people say he's done. I don't think he's done. I know he just seems to care a little less because it's just he's kind of been, that Monday night stage.
If I had to watch so many crappy games back to back to back,
he's doing crappy games all the time.
Yeah. I think I would lose some of my. Maybe it's just because we just watched the Barry Sanders thing earlier this evening. But once you lose your passion for things, sometimes you can kind of tell.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Al Michaels, to me, one of the better sportscasters out there, broadcasters, but he basically shows the same enthusiasm that a shitty game brings to the table, like Thursday Night Football. And to me, that's authenticity. Not that he's, I don't think he's washed. But either way, they said, no, we don't want the negative doom and gloom attitude from Al Michaels. We want a new, younger crop of guys here running the show for the playoffs. So that's the way they did it for NBC. The NFL itself is expected to announce tomorrow that it is expanding to a new international market, a new country, Brazil.
Interesting.
Brazil is now opening up some football.
No, I would have expected.
Yeah, I was saying if you can, but hey, the league was looking to play a game somewhere internationally, a new location in 2024, and that's where they're going to do this. Maybe next season there's going to be a game played in Brazil in 2024. So keep that in mind. That's what's going to be announced tomorrow. So get ready for that.
I guess it kind of makes sense if you consider like maybe the more Hispanic angle to it.
Yeah, but I didn't know Brazil had a lot of football, American football draw to it.
Hey,
Spain,
I didn't think Germany did either, but
well,
that's where they had their last international game.
They used to have, again, you don't know this, but back in the 90s, late 80s, they used to have a World Football League over there too, by the way. NFL players would be taken from so there was some practice, there was already some games there, I think in Asia as well, in Japan they also played, but the point here is that Spain was the other city the other country that was considered to be, was in consideration to have an NFL game played. So it's going to be Brazil, not Spain, in 2024. Just want to bring that out. Now, Buffalo Bills are our opponent this week, but there's a guy who's now back, formerly from the Bills, back to be able to be, playing the NFL by anybody. The woman who accused former Bills punter as a rookie, Matt Araiza. Remember that situation for the rape? She accused him of rape. She dismissed her lawsuit against him, which, by the way, cost him his career, her lies. So, again, a quote from Matt Araiza's lawyer, quote, "The win is bittersweet. Matt has been forced to defend himself for the last 16 months against false accusations in a campaign to ruin his career in the NFL. He will never get this time in his life back. So the hope is that the NFL gives him a second chance." They had to cover their ass when this thing went down. But he was falsely accused, lost a chance to even, he punted in preseason, then he cut him, the Bills, and then after that, it's been like hell on earth for him. He's finally got through that, and now hopefully someone gives him a chance to punt. He was a puntinator over there. He was not that ball. He was a great punter.
But I have to be real because he's only a puntinator. I think it's going to be really hard for any team to take the chance, just because let's be honest, even though these allegations have been shown false and she's recanted, withdrawn her lawsuit, all this stuff happened. He has the stink of domestic violence about him. And the NFL, I'm just saying that the NFL is probably not going to let him just come back and start being Mr. Punty anytime soon. That's just my personal thoughts and speculation.
I think that would be disgraceful for the NFL to do that.
I agree.
Because if anything, it just shows you that, you can't even trust, you can't even trust less domestic violence claims if the NFL is going to treat it this way, in my opinion. And the reason is it's hurting real domestic violence claims when someone does this to a player who now you can just knock anyone out if you just claim something for a couple of years of the NFL. That to me is bullshit. And to me, the NFL, it's not up to the NFL to give him a chance. They should, without question, reinstate him. It's about teams giving him a chance. And I disagree with you about punting, because punters, well, a punter like him is hard to find, the way he was punting the ball. And to me, if he's allowed back in, which he should be, there's no question why he should not be allowed back in the NFL.
It's not like he's a high-profile player that's going to draw a lot of negative attention.
Positions, listen, there's a high what is that called? Overturn, yeah. There's a lot of overturn, or is it high turnover? I'm sorry, not overturn. High turnover when at the punter position. People don't pay punters too much, so they want to bring a new guy in. They bring 3 in and pick the best one and pay him $700,000. So Araiza should get another chance, in my opinion, naturally from teams, and the NFL just needs to reinstate him, I'm pretty sure, which obviously he deserves. So anybody disagrees with that, they're crazy, in my opinion. Again, and to me, baby, claim or no claim, he's found this has all been false. So NFL can say what they want, but he hasn't been in the NFL for 2 years, so he can't dirty the shield that he hasn't been sporting for the last 2 years, right? So shame that this happened to him. You got to take all claims serious, of course, but that's one of those things when someone lies, you see the repercussions. She should be in jail for 2 years, in my opinion, for lying like that, for making a false claim, and being punished in her life in that same way that she ruined his. That's just my opinion. How do you like that opinion? I'm just saying, I think there needs to be repercussions to someone making false claims, even though it might make people not, come out with claims as often, and that sucks. You can't go around ruining people's careers because you had a bad morning. Sorry. So, that to me is where that goes. But I feel bad for this punter. Hopefully he gets back in the league. The way he was punting, he should be back in the league next year if the NFL reinstates him.
I'm just going to take another second to be thankful that we have not had any Cowboy shenanigans of any sort like this or otherwise.
Yeah, not for a while. And we need to keep it that way, right?
So now I do want to shout out a quick comment here by Frame Rippers, bringing up a great point. This Buffalo game came at a perfect time. Buffalo is playing good and desperate, and we're playing them on their turf, most likely in weather and on grass. So the ultimate test is coming up. So
I'm going to break it all down for you. I think they don't have grass there. It's actually turf.
Is it turf?
Yep, and it is.
Okay. And the weather's supposed to be chilly but clear.
We checked it yesterday. I got more info on that today. So we're going to talk about the weather. It's going to be the best case scenario for the Cowboys. I'm going to give you a hint when it comes to the weather.
Who's that weather guy? Jim Nance?
Oh, I don't know.
The guy who shows up at all the storms?
Not Jim Nance. No, I know you're talking about, though. Jim Nance is an NFL guy.
There you go. Sorry. I don't know why that name popped up in my head. But who's the tornado chaser or whatever? The point is, as long as that guy doesn't show up to the Buffalo game,
we're fine.
We're clear.
Listen, staying with, again, this is a Buffalo punter, so that's why he was a former Buffalo punter. Now Araiza is now a free agent when he gets reinstated. He should get reinstated sooner or later by the NFL. Now, other NFL news, the Chargers quarterback, Justin Herbert. Today, out for this season officially. We talked about the surgery he's having on his broken finger yesterday. The determination will be made about the rest of the season based on that surgery and how it went. It went well, but this surgery to repair the broken index finger on his throwing hand on his right hand puts him out for the year. There's no way around it. So Easton Stick is now the quarterback for Kellen Moore's Los Angeles Chargers.
Soon to be high-powered offense once again.
And Coach Brandon Staley said that they would do what's best for him long-term, and this was the answer for them. So that's it. He's out for the year. No more Justin Herbert, the guy who people still say is better than Dak Prescott. Anyways, the Vikings at quarterback. Another change for them. They had, of course, Cousins. They had to get Dobbs in there. Nick Mullins is going to be slated to replace Joshua Dobbs as a starter on Saturday at Cincinnati. Mullins has 17 NFL starts. I know he's at the Niners and other teams. He knows the system with Minnesota. He's fully healthy after an IR, path there in October. And now he takes over in this last-ditch effort for the Vikings in a playoff race right now, trying to get a playoff spot.
Yep.
Only to be knocked out by a team like the Lions, the Cowboys, the Eagles, or the Niners. The Dolphins. And this is going to be relative to us in a couple of weeks, I got to be honest, because we do have our game against the Dolphins coming up after
Literally,
the Bills.
a couple of weeks, in 2 weeks.
Yeah. So Mike McDaniel today spoke about Tyreek Hill's injury. He is officially day-to-day with that ankle injury. He'll be fine for us, trust me. And Connor Williams, former Cowboy, He's, of course, playing center for them. One of the best centers has a torn ACL.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, he is done for the years. No rematch for him with the Cowboys. Of course, the Cowboys visit the Dolphins next Sunday afternoon. They'll leave without Connor Williams, unfortunately for him.
All these ACL injuries are really starting to
pile
make me
up.
question what is going on this year. It just feels like there's an overwhelming amount of ACL injuries this year specifically.
And that last game was on grass, so no excuses there. Right, it was in Miami.
Yeah.
Pass rusher for the Dolphins. Now that they lost a couple guys, now more injuries piling up on all sides of the ball. But they ended up signing free agent pass rusher, a guy who I said was one of the bigger names, Melvin Ingram, officially signing with the Dolphins. So they get some potential rotational help off the edge. Of course, we'll see him in a little more full blast way. Week 16 against the Dolphins. So just keeping that in mind. He's with them now. He might get some limited play this weekend. He's definitely get much more play against us in a couple of weeks. So just want to throw up the schedule there as we talk about other NFL teams. One last team I wanted to make a mention of, actually, and he's actually the team we played week 4, and it's the coach of that team, Bill Belichick. NFL Insider is claiming that the Patriots will part ways and fire, or they would just go. They're just not going to re-sign Bill Belichick anymore after this year. This will be the last Patriot season for Bill Belichick. That's the report here. Per NBC, the decision was made. Supposedly it's been made by owner Robert Kraft. Of course, he's the owner. Mm-hmm. But it was made after the Patriots took a big L to the Colts in Germany in that road game.
Ironic, considering what we just talked about to kick off the stream.
Yeah, the international game. So, yeah. That was part of it. That was like the last straw. But there was a couple other straws that were breaking the camel's back, and one of them involved our Cowboy game. That's why I showed the schedule, because we played in week 4. That game, and also the Saints game that they played. I think the back-to-back, they got blown out back-to-back weeks. This was also noted by the NBC insider, Karan, said that the heavy blowout defeats to the Cowboys and the Saints earlier this year was already putting his head on the chopping block. That's what kind of that put that whole thing in motion. And the final chop was that Germany game against the Colts. Belichick's rumored secret offseason extension. It was a rumor that he was going to get an extension. That's off the table. It sounds like it was off the table after the Cowboys whipped up on Belichick's Patriots, and then the Saints did it the next week, I think, after that, and then of course the Colts game. It was done. That's it. So Belichick, although it's not 100% confirmed, who knows if things change, Belichick will be a free agent coach here after 2023 and 2024.
Which does bring up some really interesting questions. And honestly, forget the whole Mike McCarthy's getting fired talk. Because again, I think that's bullshit. I don't see him going anywhere short of us completely blowing it, being one and done in the playoffs. But to me, it's more of a Dan Quinn factor. If there's a chance we could lose Dan Quinn next year, maybe he chooses to stay another year. Because the teams that he might want to go to, the teams that might be saying, hey, Dan Quinn, come over here, we want you. Maybe they want Belichick too. Maybe they go the Belichick route. Maybe that's what Belichick decides to do. You get what I'm trying to say? Similar to the Denver Sean Payton type of situation where Quinn sounded like he was at least open and interested in hearing what they had to offer. Well, how serious he was there, we're not sure. They ended up going in a different direction, but Quinn was a top contender.
This is before Sean Payton. So again, even before Sean Payton, he had a job there that he wanted to get there with them, and Dan Quinn was not taken for that job. The former Green Bay coach, offensive coordinator, was taken, and then I think he's now back with the Jets with Aaron Rodgers, right? So as the offensive coordinator, he was there for half a year with the Broncos. They released him. They got Sean Payton. And Dan Quinn kind of missed his chance to get with them. My question is, does he find a team that he wants to coach for? If he doesn't, he stays in Dallas.
Yeah, it sounds like he's looking for his Goldilocks type of head coach situation. But I just imagine that if the Belichick stuff does end up being true, and he does end up moving on to greener pastures or whatever, that could impact that situation. And of course, like I said, if for whatever reason McCarthy gets the boot, Jerry's going to probably want to bring in Belichick for an interview.
It depends on what Belichick wants to GM or not in the whole story. But to me, if Mike McCarthy we get bounced in the first round, all right, that would be a disaster. I don't want to see that. If we get bounced, McCarthy's getting fired. And if we get bounced in the first, I don't know about the divisional round, but the first round, he's getting bounced. It comes down to Dan Quinn. Is he stepping up and taking this job, or will Belichick be considered for this job by Jerry Jones? Now, I personally think I don't want another change for Dak Prescott on offense. I don't want more changes. But again, this is an option now that's laid out there. Like you said, it could change things for Dan Quinn. If someone wants Belichick over Dan Quinn, and maybe that's the job he really wanted, he ain't getting that job, and he's staying in Dallas again. So it has a domino effect with the Belichick situation, possibly, him being on the free agent coaching market.
Exactly.
And a lot of different options for us, and that can cause issues or help us, when it comes to keeping guys on this team. So,
exactly.
Any thoughts on there about that in the chat?
Let me see here. Frame Ripper saying, Coach Magic Mike literally got lucky. So, and he's also saying all the teams that need a coach also don't have a quarterback. So, maybe Belichick, that's not what he's after. But remember, if he's allowed to maybe choose that quarterback and develop that quarterback, he might be more open and amenable. Although, I did throw this out there to Mr. FCF when I first heard the news. The Chargers are probably going to be looking for a new head coach any day now. So I'm just saying, if you're looking for a team that has at least a quarterback who can do something that's already there, Herbert's not the worst place. That's not the worst place you could end up in.
I'm also going to throw out there one last thing. If for some reason McCarthy is gone, and Dak is going to be on the brink of getting a deal here. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah, Mike Aldana also throwing out there. The Commanders are also maybe desperate for a new head coach.
No quarterback, really, though, in my opinion.
Similar situation in the sense that, again, Belichick could build things how he wants, and the Commanders organization would probably give him carte blanche.
He had Mac Jones there, and that's what he kind of wanted. So, look, either way, it's all about Jerry Jones. What is he going to do? He's going to give him the power that Bill Belichick wants and needs. That's the big Jerry Jones question. Yeah. I wouldn't count on it.
And Jason, I think you must have missed when Mr. MCF talked about it, but Tyreek Hill is day-to-day with that ankle injury, right?
Yeah, we talked about Tyreek and Connor McGovern. Yeah. Connor Williams out for the year with the torn ACL. But we talked about the Dolphins already. Now, I'm going to move on from NFL news there, and even though that could affect us, whether Belichick will affect us. It's
somewhat directly related because we all said it. It's the Quinn effect. NFC Championship or bust. I truly do feel like that is the only way that McCarthy gets fired. The way we possibly end up taking that L as a factor. Like, if it's the defense that shits the bed, let's be honest, McCarthy will live to see another day. But if our offensive scheme somehow falls apart completely, maybe McCarthy's ass is feeling a little warm again. I feel like that's a valid point. But
either way, we can sit here and guess all day. The truth is, let's see McCarthy succeed and win a Super Bowl, and who cares about the rest at that point? Because I'm not looking for Belichick. I want to see McCarthy. McCarthy is on the same page after 5 years with Dak, then why do you want to break that up? And now you're going to keep Dak longer. Why would you break that up, bring in Belichick, and then start over a whole new scheme? That to me seems a little bit too
premature,
too traumatic all in one shot like that. When you still have, Dan Quinn, you still got, this thing is finally coming together. It seems like 3 years of 10 or more wins. We do it, every year getting another step in the playoffs. That means you should be conference championship or beyond. But to me, it also means, your scheme cannot fail if you're the offense, if you're McCarthy.
Now, I do have a quick question for the chat. You guys remember watching old school Pokemon? You remember, the little parts there where it was like, who's that Pokemon? Well, let's play a different game. Who's that cowboy? Because somebody seriously fucked up today. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, no, there was today at the Dallas Mavericks basketball game. A bunch of Cowboys out there, baby. At courtside, 4 Cowboys showed up. Deron Bland, Micah Parsons, J-Ron Curse, who's a little banged up, right? And Trayvon Diggs. All 4 of them worked courtside for the Maverick game. But, during again, there was some pictures taken, they were uploaded and all that good stuff, but so Micah, J-Ron Curse, Deron, the defense is out there, and Trayvon Diggs tagged along, good for him, rehabbing from that torn ACL, but when they put him on the big screen, they put up, the Cowboys star cornerback on the screen, and they said it there in the Mavericks arena, Dallas Cowboys cornerback, Trayvon Diggs. They actually weren't showing Trayvon Diggs on the screen. They actually were showing our other defensive back, our other cornerback, Deron Bland. And he was smiling, kind of like they got the wrong person, but he waved through the crowd anyways. Bland was mistaken for Diggs. But they were both in the building. I just wanted to clarify that.
Somebody got that reference, corporate liaison. So
again, I just wanted to clarify that. They were there hanging, on their Tuesday off. Tomorrow, Wednesday, back to practice, back to full-time work. And there won't be no games attended by them at this point. Now, Sounds of the Sideline was released. Of course, our big win against the Eagles. So check it out if you have not seen it yet. Barry Switzer was on the sideline. Jerry was hugging him. They were talking. You heard a little segment in there from the sounds of the sideline. Dak said this to Brandon Cooks, quote, "Keep him tight. Try and lean up against him. And then all I'll do is drop that football on the backside of that helmet." And that's what he did when he got to that 1 yard line. Almost a touchdown by Brandon Cooks. Dak literally did exactly what he said to do. Got to the 1 yard line, we scored the next play, or 2 plays later. The point is, Dak Prescott has you can just see it, you can hear it, you're feeling it. Full ownership of this team, telling these veterans where to go and what to do, and he'll put the ball there.
Bringing it back to Pokemon, I think Dak just evolved. He leveled up. He evolved. He is a brand new quarterback.
Yeah, and I say it's not like a magic show. This happened because of McCarthy's evolved offensive scheme. We didn't just keep it Kellen Moore.
The only way to level up is to put in the
work,
work, put in the grind, and continue to get better.
Yeah. So again, Cowboys moving forward with this offense. I love what's been going on so far, and Dak's understanding of it. You can see it behind the scenes. I did want to say, these 2 games yesterday on Monday Night Football, were 2 games. They were both upsets. The Giants upset the Packers. The Titans upset the Dolphins. 8 underdogs won in games in Week 14. 8 underdogs. That's the most in any NFL week this season. So, you want an underdog week? This was it. But hey, we were the favorites in this game, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
And we won. So we were one of the few, winners of the favorites of the group this week. One of the the more rare winners this week of the teams that were favored. Most of the underdogs won. But I did want to say, with the Packers' loss, the Niners are officially clinched the playoffs yesterday. I never got to mention that. Packers losing to the Giants. Niners officially first team to clinch. And if you look into this, guy, this is crazy. Week 15 out of an 18-week season, 30 teams still remain in postseason contention. 30 teams out of 32. 24 teams are either in playoff position right now or within 1 game of a playoff spot. So it's all close. Only 2 teams that are eliminated, the Carolina Panthers and the New England Patriots. The only 2 teams that are eliminated currently right now.
On one hand, I do like the new playoff rules. On the other hand, it basically just feels like a participation trophy at this rate. But, I guess we'll see how it all shakes out. So.
Yeah, hey, listen, the point is, right now, the playoffs, a lot of teams still in it. This is what the NFL wanted, to keep interest peaked. You want to make sure you have a lot of teams still in the running here towards the end of the season. That's what's happened. You look at the power rankings. Fuck the power rankings. But I got to go over them at least once a week to make sure everybody knows where the media and the opinions think we lie in. Multiple places keeping us at second place in the NFL. NFL.com had us at 4th. They moved us up to 3rd. ESPN had us at 5th. Moved us up to 2nd. USA Today, after this win against the Eagles, had us at 4th. Up to 2. Same with Yahoo, 4-2. CBS Sports from 3rd place to 2nd. The Athletic 3rd to 2nd. And Sports Illustrated has been really hard on the Cowboys. They had us at 6th, moving us up to 4th, the lowest of all the ratings. Either way, if that's the power rankings. It doesn't matter. The only power ranking that matters is who's holding up that Super Bowl trophy at the end of the damn season. Now, Cowboys, ourselves here. I'm referencing that Dolphins game often from yesterday, and also, it's the fact that it's our future game coming up here after the Bills. But the Dolphins' home loss, that was a loss on home, a game they should have won against Tennessee. That home loss makes the Cowboys currently the only team in the NFL that is undefeated at home.
Damn.
The only team that hasn't lost at home, it's our Dallas Cowboys. That's great news there. Again, if you look at our schedule, there's only 1 game left at home. Week 17, at home against the Lions. Now, the Cowboys can still win the NFC East. And, there's a couple of different kind of interesting little tweaks to this. Let me explain. Of course, the Cowboys win all the last 4 games there. The Eagles lose any game. And, of course, we win the East. It's guaranteeing us a 2nd seed, or maybe a 1st seed. If the Niners also lose, we win out, and the Niners also lose, then we have the 1st seed, of course. But we're talking about winning the East. If we lose to Detroit, if on that Week 17 game we lose to the Lions, we can still make it even if we win our other 3 games. If the Eagles have to also lose 1 game. So this is crazy. The Eagles have to lose a game no matter what. And we should win out, or we can even lose to the Lions. we can still win the NFC East.
So basically, the Lions is the only L we can take without it hurting our seeding.
NFC East chances. We might be third, though.
Okay.
And then the Lions would be second.
Okay.
But the Eagles would be fifth.
Okay.
So I'm just saying that's the way that would fall. I'm saying, when you want to win the East, if we lose to the Lions, and that's our only loss, and the Eagles lose to anybody else, that would give us the East, but probably in a third seed situation. Now, another way, what if we lose to Detroit or the Dolphins or the Buffalo Bills?
Okay.
All the Eagles have to do is lose to the Giants. They have to lose one game. So they have to lose to the Giants. If we end up losing to Miami, Buffalo, or Detroit, that means the only team we cannot lose to are the Commanders. The Eagles can still, if they lose specifically one of their last games, they play the Cardinals, the Giants twice, and Seattle this week, and in Seattle. Right. If they lose to the Giants specifically, if they win the other games, that doesn't matter. We end up tied, but we win tiebreaker. It's crazy, right? The way it has to be. It's just because of strength of schedule, common opponents, and all that stuff.
I mean, honestly, that's more chances than I thought we had.
Yeah, that's
like I know it's still relatively low,
and it probably still means the third seed on those last two. We went out, we get that second or first seed. If we lose one of those games and they lose the right game, that means a third seed for us, and Philly gets the fifth seed.
Even though we kind of bungled things a little bit early in the season, the fact that we are basically doing better now than we were then, I've seen a lot of discussions, and we've always known, like, playing your best football now in December does matter more. But the reason for that, I think, sometimes gets lost in the sauce of these discussions. I think the Eagles peaked a little too early here.
That luck ran out a little too early for
exactly,
them,
because guess what? Those early games, of course, they mattered, and wins always matter. But now it comes down to the same thing comes down to every season, December football.
We're back at it again.
Anyway, real quick.
Almost for nothing.
Huge shout out to you with a $2.
You know that is, right?
Holler.
That's
yes,
Clark
Clark
Kent. Hell yeah.
He said Tommy Cutlet's going to beat down the E-Girls. Go Giants. Hey, guess what? His agent knows a guy who knows a guy. So I think we're going to be okay. The Eagles are going to be sleeping with the fishes.
He definitely dresses like he knows a guy that knows a guy. If he knows what I mean.
Honestly, Tommy's agent going viral was probably like the third best thing I saw that was NFL related or adjacent that wasn't just about our Cowboys giving the Eagles a smackdown. Just saying, because that shit, you can't make stuff up like that. If I told you that, you'd think I was lying.
That was a movie.
Exactly.
That's why people think it's scripted. It's not, but they think it's scripted. Hey, I'm hearing next week's outfit's going to be crazy for old DeVito. You know what? I don't care. Not DeVito. DeVito's agent. I don't care. As long as they get a chance to beat the fucking Eagles. They get 2 chances to beat the Eagles. And again, like I said, if the Eagles lose one of those 2 games, we can still lose to Miami, Buffalo, or Detroit and still win out. And, if we lose 3 games, we win 3 games, they lose one of those, it's a lot of different options for us still alive. It becomes more of a third seed situation, but I'd rather have a home game as a third seed, than a road game as a 5th seed.
Honestly, I'm small and petty enough that I just want to
push the
take
Eagles.
the East from the Eagles, regardless of whatever seed we... Heck, I'd even take 5th seed if it meant we pushed them out. Well, I know that's not possible. I'm just saying that, I almost wouldn't care about the seeding. But it would be nice to have home field advantage. If we can hold on to that second seed somehow and kick them out.
The Niners would have home field, of course, through the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But we'd have that home game. And then if we got the second seed, we'd have a second home game no matter what if we get to that second round. So there's a lot of great things about having the second seed. Of course, the first seed is the magical one. Third seed, it's still good. You get a home game. You probably got to get a road game the week after that. But keeping the Eagles 5th, that's beautiful as well. So we'll see what happens as this thing continues. But a lot of options still for the Cowboys. Even if we lose somehow to the Bills, we are still, again, we can win out. The Eagles lose to the Giants and we get the East. It's crazy. So a lot of different, I just want to throw that out there for everyone to kind of know, but it's a lot of different options for the Cowboys still left on this thing. When you look at the remaining schedule, the Cowboys have the same odds to win the entire NFC conference as they do to win the NFC East. We're 380 to 1 odds right now to win the conference. 380 to 1 odds to win the conference. We're also 380 to 1 odds to win the NFC East. So if we win the East, they're saying we win the conference. That's what most of the odds are kind of showing for us. So again, everything is right there for us. Can the Cowboys pull it in and do it? Because if we win 4 games in a row, we get a nice bye week, and we can now regroup to make that last 3-game winning streak. We got to end it with. So, sport books right now are giving the Cowboys an 11% chance of winning the Super Bowl this year. That is the highest implied Super Bowl probability the Cowboys have had all season long. So, you said it, hitting the stride right now is where it needs to happen. That's what's happening.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I really appreciate that this is when we're starting to get hot, because let's be real. Even in previous years past where we had really good teams or dominant teams, we had up and down moments at this time in the season. So pretty much from Thanksgiving on, it's been just nonstop for our Cowboys. I love it.
And it's been, got to say something else here. It's been nonstop for Dak Prescott. Not just this last week or two with the here he goes. Since he got with this beautiful girl here, and about to be a girl dad, right? Dak Prescott's been balling out. And I just don't mean it that way. I mean, Jerry Jones has been Jerry Jones has been following this situation, not just with the girl, not with his new girl there, but also with Dak Prescott in the upcoming contract situation. So right now, for the first time in a long time, the Dak Prescott contract is now on the front burner for Jerry Jones and company. Yes, Jerry Jones is exuding a lot of confidence right now in getting Dak Prescott's extension done. He spoke today at 105 through the Fan, baby. What did he say about
his pockets burning?
What did he say about Dak Prescott and this contract looming?
Don't pay any attention to discussion. It's meaningless. The only thing that is factual here is what I decide, and what we decide as a team, and what Dak decides. We know exactly where we are on the contract. Years left on the contract, and we should be, and are, about as close on that type of communication. The timing on it remains to be seen.
Oh boy. That means deadlines make deals. That's the whole Jerry Jones, Stephen Jones way. But the important thing about this, when it comes to Dak's contract, look, Jerry Jones right now, who's also the general manager, is not concerned that Dak has 1 year left on his contract. Following this year. We got them for this year and one more year. You know what the cap hit next year is? $59 million for Dak Prescott. Some of these quarterbacks out there are getting paid $53 million. Dak's hit is $59 million right now for next year. But we know it's rolling over money. That's what happens. The Cowboys can make that cap hit like $30 million lower if we agree on a contract extension with Dak Prescott before, the season gets underway next year, which is, as Jerry Jones said it, and all the times everybody has to be in time, including Dak. It's a timing on things, but it's going to get done. There's a lot of discussion in the media the way the Cowboys are potentially costing themselves more money. I know we've said it. Mm-hmm. I know others have said it. We said it in Dak's from his rookie contract to this contract. Should have done this earlier. Cowboys waited this offseason. You guys were saying it. We were saying it. We should get it done now. Jerry Jones wanted to wait. Now, this is where we're at. The money is going up. A lot of people were saying this is going to cost the Cowboys more money, waiting until the end of Dak's contract to work out an extension. But according to Jerry Jones, he's not worried about the timing of the deal or whether it will or will not get done. He's in control, and he seems to be holding all the cards and happy to be able to work something out with Dak in a very short time, in my opinion.
What do you think? I actually think that one point that Jerry made here is being lost, once again, lost in the sauce, right? I think it's easy for us to call out the clown show, and rightfully so. Well deserved. They deserve all that and more when it comes to how they handled Dak's initial contract.
A mishandle, yeah.
But if I'm Dak Prescott, I would be an idiot to sign now. To extend anything now. He's playing the best.
In the offseason is when the time is.
Yes, but that offseason is hopefully going to come with a big, shiny-ass Super Bowl ring to be able to make those types of, negotiations and claims. I genuinely think that the way that Dak is playing this year, and because he already has that initial contract, that pressure is off of Dak. He doesn't have to go in there and you know what I mean? That first initial negotiation, that big money, it's already been locked in. All Dak has to do is play. And I think Jerry Jones also, and / the front office, I think they are also waiting to see how this season plays out and what type of playoff caliber football Dak Prescott gives us. Because that, to me, is the 100 million, 10% determining every dollar on his paycheck that we decide to extend him for. The fact that he's going to get extended is almost a foregone conclusion. How much is it going to cost us? And it's to the point now where that's it. Like, Dak is either going to win us some playoff games, win us an NFC Championship, win us the Super Bowl, or bust.
Well, some people are saying he might not, Jerry won't pay him.
I highly disagree. Dak has never looked better. They already paid him. Like I said, the only way we somehow don't pay him is if we decide to blow everything up, and that includes firing McCarthy, not extending Dak, basically redoing the team. I don't think we're at that point just yet. Like, if Dak had a rough season, we could have that discussion. And we did at the beginning of the season. He's not, though. He's looking better than ever.
Dak is literally an MVP prospect.
The way Dak is playing now,
we haven't had an MVP this late in the season at quarterback since Troy Aikman.
Exactly. The way Dak is playing now, he's easily bought himself another 3 years in Dallas.
Yeah.
Minimum, baseline.
Yeah, he's going to be here at least 3-4 more years in Dallas.
Which, like you said, probably buys McCarthy a little job security, too. But we'll have to see on that.
Look, what else is the chat saying, baby? Real quick, a couple quick comments.
Double R, and that's the truest point, right? Dak needs to show us fans some loves, as in win some fucking playoff games.
Hey, listen, he's won some, but I think it's more about, again, it's not just on Dak. Dak's going to have to do it against tougher competition, but it's about Mike McCarthy's scheme that has to continue to play itself out, and it looks like there should be nothing that stops that, except the Niners. Really, the only team looks like it's in our way to the Super Bowl, in my opinion.
James Brady, not sure as far as the reffing crew. I don't think we have that info just yet, but we will, and we'll keep you updated.
Yeah, we'll get you the ref check this week. Don't worry.
Soul Geek said Dak's going to win the Super Bowl and not be re-signed. That would never happen.
That would be, well, if that happened, that would be the dumbest thing the Cowboys could do.
Jerry would throw all of AT&T Stadium at Dak at that point.
Listen, you got to remember, Dak Prescott would be the Jerry Jones find. There's no way he's going to not sign. He'll give him $100 million a year.
Let me see. Mike Aldana said that's the price of winning. Pay raise for Dak.
Exactly.
Tammy Solti said it's pretty much the same now for most QBs that are any good at all.
Yeah.
Let me see. Frame Ripper is saying, if you're Dak, do you go for the max contract or take lower and force the contract that the savings goes towards retaining players? Again,
if Dak wins the Super Bowl, he can do whatever the fuck he wants,
exactly.
Right?
Now, I think Dak overall has done a great job of balancing, obviously, getting paid his fair share and what he deserves, but also really working with the team to structure that in a way that doesn't, screw over the team as much as possible.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Dak, there'll be a point where, like, he could do Mahomes type of things and move money around, but Dak's still going to take the top dollar as he should.
Yeah, Big Boss Man said he'll be the highest paid quarterback again. We'll lose players because of it. Cowboys need to win this year.
Right, and I think that's a big player because, again, if Dak doesn't get if for some reason it's Dak's fault that we don't get to the Super Bowl, then that could be looked upon as maybe we don't re-sign him. But that'd be a hot MVP type guy out there in the free agent market that we just lost for nothing. We got to trade.
I'm just going to say,
best bet would be to trade him if you wanted to. But again, that seems like almost we're blowing things up.
That would be stupid.
Yeah,
I'm going to say one final thing. When was the last time you took a pay cut at your job for the good of the job?
Exactly.
Right? Right? Because, at the end of the day, of course, I want my job, my company, my whatever to do well. But they're not tucking me in at night. They're not putting the roof over my head. You get what I'm trying to say? I have to handle that because that's my responsibility.
I understand, and I agree. But at this point, let's just say Dak is able to help get us a Super Bowl in Dallas. Dak will probably move that money around the way he sees fit with the, to open up room on the team. Dak will be in full. Dak will have the keys to the Cowboys if we win a Super Bowl with Dak. Trust me on this. Dak will be the Jerry Jones' favorite player of all time. And Dak will have whatever he wants. He'll have whatever he wants, and Dak will be in a situation where he can move money around now. He won't, he could now say, you know what, I want to make sure I'm on a team that gets a little dynasty rolling. Mm-hmm. So he will be able to maybe say, maybe there are some things in the contract, but in the end, can you blame Dak if he doesn't do that? I mean, again, would you take a job, a pay cut, so you could add a couple other guys in there that going to help your team, your job, your I guess you could say your boss, which would be Jerry Jones. Make more money? Like that makes no sense. Take less money so they can make more money.
And remember, guys, Tom Brady had the luxury of doing that because he was a kept man. His wife out-earned him by a lot. Yeah. Even at the highest point in his career.
Brady is an anomaly. You can't compare that to Brady. You compare it to Montana or or any quarterback in the NFL in the history of football that pretty much has taken the max of their money. And not said, hey, here, keep some for the team so they can do something. Yeah. When I have a wife that's making more than me.
And trust me, if I also had, millions of dollars as my salary, obviously we're talking about a different thing. But remember, guys, when you start talking NFL numbers, even hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars are a drop in the bucket compared to the billions with a B
the owner's making.
That the owners and the teams are bringing in.
Last thing on this, because we got to move on or we'll never be done. We have to, roll out, in a quickie here a little bit today. But the thing is, and now you were talking about the fact that
the money.
Yeah, well, I know. I want to.
Players make millions, with owners make billions.
There you go. The thing is that I think it comes down to the fact that the Cowboys have to, Dak has to do what's best for him. He have the keys to the city. If he wins a Super Bowl or whatever it may be, Jerry Jones puts everything into him. And I know we might lose some money here, but remember this. Remember these facts, guys. When Dak got signed to that $40 million contract, the same thing was being said. Oh, my God, he's breaking the bank. And we got through it, didn't we? So I'm not saying it's not without some good drafting and some other hard work. My point is, other teams are doing this. They're paying their guys the big money, and they're able to still get players to make runs. So you're going to keep Dak on this team for 3 more years. You might pay him $60 million a year. But we do know that by the time Dak's in his middle of his second year of this new contract, guess what's going to happen? There'll be guys getting paid $65 million a year that aren't worth Dak. They aren't worth what Dak is putting out on that field. So it's the same old story. Just it's the way of football, and that's the way it's got to be. You got to learn to win either with a shitty quarterback and then load him up with people around him. You get lucky like the Niners did with Brock Purdy, or you got to get yourself a solid quarterback, a top 10 type of guy, a Dak Prescott type of guy who's now top 3, and you roll with him to the promised land as best you can. That's it. That's the 2 choices you got. It's either that or start over, and we're losing for another 3 years, and everyone's going to be like, why didn't we keep Dak? And you're going to be like smacking yourselves in the face. So anyways, that's the Dak situation. I'm not even worried about it. Dak will be a Cowboy for at least, like you said, 3 more years. Yeah. On top of this other actually about 4 years after this year, Dak will be a Cowboy at the very least, in my opinion.
And Frame Rippers, again, maybe the wife came a little later, but you know what did not? Again, remember, there was always that backdoor deal that Brady basically had with, I don't think it was Kraft specifically, but actually it wasn't Kraft, because remember, he built his own facility where the Patriots would practice and do a bunch of shit at or whatever, and they would have to pay him. So, yeah, he took a lower contract, but he's literally getting paid like more than double what his contract was just to have the team practice at his field facility and his
and you got to remember
field.
Too, that, Tom Brady in the beginning didn't have the wife money, like he said, but he wasn't taking pay cuts then either. He was taking pay cuts and moving money around in his 40s, not in his 30s. You know what I'm saying? So this is already when he was established, made the millions, and he had a wife that was making multi-millions as well. So it's not just the beginning of his first 10 years of a career. It wasn't just, hey, yeah, let's move it around, the money. No, he was saying, give me my money. Give me my money, Robert Kraft, and he got it. That's it. Let's stop playing with people's money. It's just the way of life. It ain't the 1980s anymore. Trust me, I wish it was. But not 1980s anymore when it comes to football. You got to deal with the new football or not like it anymore, But to me, it sucks in some ways. I can get over it. I can get over the fact that these guys make multi-million-dollar deals because the owners are making multi-billion-dollar deals.
Yeah.
And honestly, I wish there was more salary cap expansion because that could fit all these guys in without any bitching.
The quarterback salary situation isn't up to like altruistic quarterbacks to somehow fix. You know what I mean? That's an NFL issue for them to fix. If they got a problem with it, they got to do something about it.
I want to make sure we all get reminded. I keep saying one last thing. How are we still having this discussion with Dak Prescott and the way he's playing? People still saying, well, maybe not Dak next. Not Dak. What? Anybody who chopped their left arm off, the right arm off, both arms off to get Dak Prescott on their team. Here's what I'm trying to say. The salary cap is going to keep growing. We forget that this is about to smash open right now in the next couple of years. It's going to go from $230 million or $220 million where it's at now at the cap, and it's going to go to $240 and $280 and $300 million. So you're going to have to incorporate other positions. Yeah, the money's going to go up, but also for the quarterback position. The money's going to open up on the cap in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. You know who knows that? Not just Dak Prescott. Jerry Jones. He knows what's going to happen. He knows how to play with if you know how to play with that money moving it forward, like these other teams do, then we have a backwards organization. But I believe that now we kind of caught on how to move the money. Yes, he'll play the audience, he'll play the fans, he'll play you guys, and say, well, the pie's the pie. We got to watch the pie, but that's a lie. We know this. We've seen other teams lie.
No one else is worried about pie.
Oh, just us about the pie. All that makes us do, the fans, is turn against each other and turn against Dak, for example. Oh, well, Dak shouldn't get that money. He's not worth it. Well, if he wins the Super Bowl, I guarantee you some of these same people say he's not worth it. And maybe he isn't worth it. But, we win a Super Bowl, you give him the money. You get him paid. And listen, I'm not saying you're going to even win a Super Bowl. I'm just saying if you want to roll with the guy that can take you there. We're seeing Dak putting up MVP performance with the right guys around him, whether on the field, which we have right now, and we can afford them, or the right coaches, which I think is the bigger deal here. It's working. Why would you want to ruin this? We're going to start over with Trey Lance? Are we fucking stupid? Come on. So anyways, that's my view on this. Now, let's move on from this shit because that doesn't happen until the offseason. And hopefully by the offseason, we got another Super Bowl ring and things we talk about here on MCI. That's what matters. So, next game up is the Bills. And guess what? We're going up against a dangerous Bills team now. Desperate Bills team. I know that Jerry Jones spoke about our opponent this week.
Yeah.
And kind of broke down a little bit of his thoughts about these bison. Now, again, as you can see, you have your emojis there, guys.
Drop them if you got them.
Drop them if you got them. But again, if you got your emoji, you'll see things like, if you guys watch Silence of the Lambs, you guys know Buffalo Bill. If you got Buffalo Bills, Buffalo Bill, you know what the moth is about. Also,
Jerry had a few words to say.
Yeah, Buffalo Wild Wings. I don't know, some drumsticks there. You got, of course, got to eat them up, right? The Buffalo Bills. We're gonna hopefully put a bullet in them this week, but this is to me one of the funniest things. And this, again, if you know what this is, unless you've watched it, you probably don't know what it is. It looks like a child or maybe somebody like Forrest Gump might have drawn something like this. This was Josh Allen drawing the Buffalo Bills logo from his memory. All I can say is, wow. That's pretty bad. That's as bad as when he throws interceptions this entire season, which is what he's been doing. Anyways, that's the Bills. Jerry Jones had to speak about the Bills. What do you say about Buffalo?
Well, this game we're playing this weekend against the Bills, they're a dangerous team. At any given time, they can be as good as anybody in the NFL, in my mind. They've got the players, they've got the quarterback. They're just a good team. We're going to play them in Buffalo. And of all the places that a home field advantage is different than the normal games you play, it's Buffalo, New York. This game coming up here is as good a challenge as we could have. I'm going to use the word again. It's formidable to step up there and come out with a win. So we don't have to look any farther up the road than about 5 days from now. So, and he was also kind of told, like, hey, the weather is actually supposed to be pretty nice this weekend, right? 46 degrees, about 12 miles per hour wind, so it'll be a little windy, not that bad, right? He said, I'll go with it. Here we are in the middle of December in Buffalo, New York. The gods are looking out for us.
And I wanted to make a mention about the weather real quick.
It's funny because Jerry actually echoed something that Frame Ripper said early in our stream, basically saying, like, this Buffalo game came at the perfect time as far as a challenge because Buffalo's doing really well. We're playing them. Like, it basically just matches up as another great matchup for us.
Yeah, and I think the weather part is something we have to look at here because the high is going to be near 50 at kickoff. Virtually no precipitation, so no rain, obviously no snow. It's going to be above average humidity. There's going to be peaks of sunshine and moderate wind throughout the day, throughout the game at that point. But the weather is not going to be a major factor. A lot of people, of course, looked at this in April when the schedule came out and said, this is going to be a problem for the Cowboys. But I will say, the one thing to watch, National Weather Service is forecasting strong winds. That's at 12 mile per hour winds, 12 to 15. But it's going to be strong winds and it could be gusts as well in the Buffalo area on Thursday and Friday. If that carries into Sunday, Cowboys have to be a little more reliant on the run game. So do the Bills, but can we
Not just that, but we also can't take those 55, 60-yard plus field goal chances.
Not if they're swirling left and right, that's a whole different issue. If it's back behind our back, maybe we can, but it's really how it's blowing and how the wind is twirling in there, and that's the problem. It's good. Listen, it's just because it's 46 and 12 mile per hour winds right now. It doesn't mean it's beautiful. It means it's windy. It's going to be cold. But what my point is, December, what Jerry Jones' point is, it's not going to be 9 fucking degrees with 10 inches of snow. This is the best football weather you're going to get. And it's not giving the Bills a big home field advantage in this scenario where they're used to playing in that kind of weather.
This is about as neutral as you can get for December football in Buffalo.
I will definitely take it. By the way, going back real quick, I want to make sure I address frame rippers here. I agree that other positions will be taking up more money, but the number that the quarterbacks take up are just automatically going to be always jumping up, rising at a higher percentage than a receiver, than a linebacker, than a tight end. So you know what the problem is going to be.
QB's always got a bigger slice of the pie.
Yeah, it's always going to be that way. But the thing I'm trying to say is teams have to find ways. Hear me good on this, guys. Either to do things the way like the Rams did a little bit, and the Eagles are doing. You got to keep refilling these guys up with just and doing things, just hitting right a little bit on the draft, a little bit on trade. You got to make moves constantly. That's not the Cowboys. So what's the other option? We stick with our own guys. And you got to raise up these own guys yourself. And what I mean by that is that Dak, Trayvon Diggs, Micah Parsons, CeeDee Lamb, Ferguson starting to look like. They were saying most of these guys, and you could throw Gallup in there, which to me was a big waste of money. But you could throw a lot of these are our own drafted Dallas Cowboy players, and most of them are going to be here again next year in some shape, form, or fashion. So when I look at CeeDee Lamb, you have to find another CeeDee Lamb in the draft. Or someone like a CeeDee Lamb. You got to find another, you got to have to replace these guys eventually. You might have to find another Trayvon Diggs. Oh, wait, we got DeRon Bland. We just got them overlapping right now. So there's going to be a lot of decisions made, a lot of things to come up here. And that's not like Dak Prescott making that problem. That's a football problem that every team's got to deal with when they got a good damn team. Or you got a good damn quarterback. And Dak Prescott, he's an elite quarterback. He's been playing elite for 6 straight games, for 8 straight games. And that's something that he's never done in his career. Something that most people are now taking notice of. And I don't think it's something that we should just say.
Like DJ Khaled said, we're suffering from success.
Yeah, suffering from success here. I think that Dak, we don't know what's going to happen yet. But if for some reason he helps pull off, he helps. Because it's not the Dak Cowboy. We win a Super Bowl, it's not because of Dak. It's because of the team. So my point is that no matter what it is in the end, if you got yourself a quarterback that's an MVP that wins the Super Bowl, you definitely think about paying him what he deserves to get paid, and then you got to make it work with your staff, with the way you rely on Will McClay in the draft. The same thing we've been doing for the damn last 12, 15 years. So you're gonna have to keep doing that and just hope replenishing, or you let an MVP guy go, you trade him. I don't know what you would trade him for, but then we're starting over again. We're starting with nothing. And, yeah, you get a lot of the good players and you got a shitty quarterback. Or a guy you got to develop in 4 or 5 years.
Exactly.
So it makes no sense to do that when you got the guy here now. You pay the money. You roll the dice. You get poor in the future. And you take your risks in the future of having some down years, but you go for it now when it's right here in front of your fucking face. And whoever would not do that is crazy. You worrying too much about the money and not enough about the football. And you can complain about the players doing that, but some of the fans are doing this too sometimes. And we got to worry about winning the games now and winning the Super Bowl now. I don't care if Dak is making $1 billion. Boo-hoo. I don't give a fuck. If we win a Super Bowl, we win a Super Bowl. That's what matters.
If he wins us a Super Bowl, he's going to get shares in AT&T Stadium.
Exactly. That's my point. He'll be like Tom Brady in New England, and he'll be making his little side hustle and be working with the Cowboys, making money off the Cowboys. That's what probably Dak turns into. If it's a big if, still a long ways away from winning any Super Bowls or helping us win a Super Bowl. That's all. Now, I know there was a couple other things that Jerry Jones said about Dak and the way that, things are going now with the head coach, Mike McCarthy, and Dak Prescott on the same page. The Cowboys were 10-3 last year. We're 10-3
Basically, we've been in this spot before.
9-4 last year.
We've been 10-3 before.
At this point, after 14 games, we were 10-3. 13 games. 10-3 in last year at this point. 9-4 in 2021. Now we're 10-3 again. Why are we more optimistic now than the last 2 years with the same results, baby? So what was Jerry Jones' answer about the optimism now with the quarterback, the head coach, and on?
The way Dak is playing. The way he's playing in coordination with what Mike's wanting it to be on the offensive side of the ball.
So again, this is all about the Mike McCarthy connection, getting that scheme finally tailored to Dak Prescott, which we saw the switch happen in 2 fucking weeks. That's how great of a student Dak is. In 2 weeks, we went from conservative Mike McCarthy fuckball to Dak Prescott attack down the field football. And not Kellen Moore way, the Mike McCarthy way. That's the big win there. That's the huge advantage. And I'm going to be real about this, baby. Again, I've said McCarthy's got his issues, still may have issues. I still see issues with McCarthy. McCarthy has definitely been the best coach we've had since Parcells. No question. No diggity, no doubt. Probably our fourth best coach we ever had behind Tom Landry, Jimmy Johnson, Parcells, and then Mike McCarthy, I'd have to say. And you know what I like, baby? Remember last year he was getting guys, the glass eaters, the tougher mentality after the Niner loss, and all this talking about this. It's not just that mentality. It's also like this confidence the Cowboys have now, especially, I'm going to say, on offense. If you watch the game, guys, go back. Go back to when Ferguson grabbed that ball, snatched it out of the air for the win, basically, from Dak's great throw in the end zone against Jamal Adams. And you remember what, if you look at a certain angle, you see CeeDee Lamb, he's poking fun at Jamal Adams. Jamal Adams was being a bitch the whole game. The whole game he was getting dirty shots, and Jamal Adams. So Ferguson caught this pass on Adams right in his face. Ferguson looked at him, gave him this fucking look, and slammed the football as he's like almost still eyeballing him. CeeDee Lamb was over there pointing at him, kind of laughing at Jamal Adams. My point is, I like the cockiness, the confidence showing through the cockiness. See, you guys don't remember, some of you guys don't remember the 90s, and we were a cocky-ass team. People hated us because we were so fucking cocky and so goddamn good. And that's the thing. When Ferguson snatches the ball right in front of Jamal Adams' face and slams it, spikes the ball right in his face, CeeDee Lamb getting in on that, one of your star players, I don't mind it. I like that hype, that passion. And Jake Ferguson, that's one of the things, CeeDee Lamb also getting involved. But Jake Ferguson, he's really a guy, I think Dak talked about the fact that he's really the energy. He's one of the leaders on this team. There was a play where Dak scrambled. We were driving. We were about the 20-yard line or so. Listen to this. Dak scrambled out. And the guy who was covering him, I think it was Jamal Adams, covering him down the field. As the play extended and Dak actually started running, he got out of the pocket, kind of looked, and then he ran. Ferguson was going out for a pass. He ran his route, and Adams didn't turn around. And he basically fucked with him. Ferguson put his hands up like he was going to catch the ball, and Jamal Adams swipes out his arms while Dak's running for the first down.
Nah.
So that is what I'm talking about, the choreographed, kind of everybody's on the same page situation, starting from McCarthy through Dak and through the rest of the team. Ferguson, CeeDee Lamb providing this new attitude of confidence and cockiness that I like. You can back it up, you can be cocky. So, and that usually means you can be great. Look, our offensive line is a point of pride in this team, always has been. Take a look at this thing, guys. Tyron Smith, he's analytically PFF's highest graded offensive lineman in pass protection. Pass protection. This is Mr. No Practice Tyron here, right? 89.1 is his offensive pass blocking grade. That is a cunt hair away from an elite pass protection grade. That's number one in the NFL. And he's number 89.1. The closest person is at 85. Like, he is dominating pass blocking in the NFL this year. Tyron Smith, left tackle, number 77. That's just fantastic. What about his partner in crime to his right, left guard, Tyler Smith? He played 51 total snaps versus Jalen Carter, the Eagles' brand new rookie, first top 10 rookie. And Tyler Smith only allowed one pressure in pass protection. Also went along with 0 losses as a run blocker. He mauled Jalen Carter, and he would maul him to the ground on his back multiple times. In the ground game, running the ball. Great blocking from Tyler Smith. Not just not allowing pressure, but also just dominating in the run game. Terrence Steele, our right tackle. Probably put together not his best game, but his best run blocking game of the year against Philly. He was bulldozering and duoing double teams with Zach Martin, and he'd go to the next level. He was doing a lot better than he was earlier in the season. He had some real good, reach blocks on 3 techs inside, on 3 techs on the defensive line. And again, he was a bulldozer on double teams with Zach Martin and others. Great job from Terrence Steele run blocking this game. Some of the keys to the run this game was because of Terrence Steele waking up. And again, could have had a better pass blocking game. He had some penalties, so that hurts. Still got some work there to do for Terrence Steele, but he had his best run blocking game, to me, without question. You know who else had a great run blocking game? Jalen Tolbert. wide receiver. Wide receiver Jalen Tolbert was blocking his ass off against the Eagles. And, guys, I mean, he was in there a lot of times in motion. You see him as a receiver coming in. You're like, I said, here comes a run. Almost every time it was a run, guys. Very impressive part of his game for Jalen Tolbert. Not just the fact that he's coming on as a receiver, but his ability to block in the run game. Again, gives us another weapon that we can really fuck with the defenses with. Jalen Tolbert blocking his ass off in a great way against the Eagles. And I just want to say another thing here. When it comes to Tolbert, he had an unbelievable block on the edge on that 22-yard run by Kevontae Turpin. On that end around for 22 yards. Jalen Tolbert, it loves doing the dirty work. And he's also getting open. Even if, again, he got open a couple times this game, but Dak had other targets that were just open as well. And Dak hit it to the playmakers. But Tolbert was open in this game also. He's doing the dirty work in the run game. Eventually, trust me, Tolbert will find the ball. Hopefully, not in those tight squeezes like against Philly the first time and those fourth down plays, but he's getting open. And the more often these other teams the defenses forget about Tolbert, he will eventually bite them in the ass. Trust me on this. So Tolbert with the run blocking and the receiving, fantastic. Now, flipping this over before we get to the Bills, because we got a quick look at them, and we're done for tonight, guys. This is a quickie, I told you. Defensively, though, a lot of great things to talk about. The way this defense came up with the stops against the Eagles, the way that they were able to kind of consistently bend but not break and get those turnovers when they were bending. Not going to happen every game. That's not sustainable in my opinion. But there was a lot of help in there. And at linebacker, Donovan Wilson at safety playing that hybrid linebacker role. We know about Marquise Bell and Damone Clark, and Marquise Bell was the best, highest-rated coverage linebacker in the NFL. I think he is this year, and he was this week as well. Marquise Bell, fantastic. Damone Clark, great job stopping the run inside, and both guys either knocked the ball out or recovered a fumble. But I add Donovan Wilson. Curse is involved in this as well. But Donovan Wilson involved kind of in the linebacker group, hybrid-wise, with J-Ron Curse. Donovan Wilson was the highest graded run defender in the NFL this week with a 95.7. So, again, when you have Marquise Bell, the best coverage linebacker in the NFL right now this week, and the best run-stopping safety, actually, the best run-stopping defensive player is Donovan Wilson this week in the NFL. You're seeing how Dan Quinn utilizes these hybrid safeties, these hybrid players, whether Marquise Bell, who was a safety at linebacker, J-Ron Curse always playing that hybrid linebacker spot there, watching tight ends, but playing in the box. And Donovan Wilson also always been doing that as well. You're seeing him paying off. I know some of you guys, myself included, sometimes are like, well, Donovan Wilson kind of having a quiet couple of weeks the last, this year. He's there. He's doing what he needs to do, and he's making an impact in the run game. Donovan Wilson, great job. A guy who's kind of still falling off, even though he seems like having better games in our defense, is Jordan Lewis. Jordan Lewis at that nickel cornerback spot. Again, when it comes to the grades analytically, he was the lowest graded cornerback in the NFL this particular week. He's only graded at a 29.1. That is unbelievably low. Horrible game from Jordan Lewis, analytically speaking. He allowed 4 out of 5 catches against them for 69 yards. He also had he was the lowest graded player in coverage among any position in the NFL this week with a 27.5 coverage grade. Not good for Jordan Lewis. So, again, if there's some weaknesses there, Jordan Lewis is part of that. I do think that he'll have better games throughout the season, and he'll have ups and downs, but Jordan Lewis definitely kind of fallen off a little bit from his kind of lockdown way at nickel corner in the past. That's why if you get an outside guy, you move DaRon Bland back in there. And, if you don't, you got to find an inside guy so DaRon Bland stays on the outside. But Jordan Lewis, running the course of his career in Dallas, I think he's going to be a guy that is going to have to make a decision here at the end of the thing here. But look, Dan Quinn, we got to find another cornerback to eventually take over, inside or outside, to kind of make that three-headed monster work at the cornerback spot in the future. Right now, Jordan Lewis is the guy, and he's the nickel corner, and he's doing a good enough job, but he definitely could be doing a better job there. Finally, this is more, before we get to the Bills, this is special teams. I love talking about, the wife loves talking about special teams.
Oh, yeah.
So we talk about, not really John Fossil, though. We're talking about the kicker. Again, I'm going to say this in quotes, fake air quotes here, but rookie of the year? Maybe? I don't know. Could he be Rookie of the Year? Brandon Aubrey? Not sure, but I wish I could find him here. I'd be able to put him on the screen. There he is. Brandon Aubrey, though, kicking. And let's hide Fossil because this is a special team. We talked about all the levels of our Cowboys. Let's finish with special teams and the kicker. 30 kicks through the uprights for Brandon Aubrey. Shattered the record for the most made. You guys know that it started at, I thought it was at like 19. I think it was at 17. He almost doubled the record for most consecutive kicks made in the NFL. And again, he's not taking easy kicks. So he has 30 kicks. He's already shattered the record for most field goals made to begin an NFL career. He's also screaming past the record for most touchbacks in an entire season. Now, I know we have an extra game, but guys, he has currently 84 touchbacks and 89 kickoffs.
Excuse me.
The league record is 88 touchbacks. And that was done by Bradley Pinion in 2019. So just a couple years ago, 88 touchbacks for a kicker is the rookie for a season. Aubrey has 84 touchbacks out of 89 kickoffs. And we still have 4 games to go. He will get this done in less than 3 games, which means in a regular 16-game season, the record would have been broken. It's not because of the extra game. Brandon Aubrey is killing it, not just in the field goals made, but through knocking that ball out of the back of the end zone on kickoff. Such a highly sought-after skill, by the way. And you know what's crazy about this? He has a 94.4% touchback rate. 84 out of 89 kickoffs have been touchbacks. You know that's second in the NFL right now? Behind Joey Sly from the Washington Commanders. He set the modern record for touchback rates back in 2019 at 94.3%. So Aubrey has 94.4%. If he knocks them all back, then he will break the record. But here's the crazy thing. He might break the touchback number, like 88. He has to get over 88 touchbacks.
Yeah.
He'll get over 88 touchbacks, and that's a different record. All right, that's Bradley Pinion. That'll be done this game or the next game. He's going to get that record. But the percentage of his touchbacks, that's a different number. Right now is 84 of 89, which puts him 0.1% in front of the all-time record by Joey Sly. Here's the crazy thing, though. The only reason Aubrey probably will not break that record for the highest touchback rate at the end of this year, even if he keeps hitting him, knock him out the back of the end zone. The same guy, Washington's Joey Sly, is on pace to break his own record. And he's currently in front of him. So, the fact that Joey Sly has got the record, he is currently the only guy in front of Aubrey on kickoffs, on touchbacks. We still have
a handful of games to go.
But the point is, the fact that Aubrey might break that record, it doesn't matter because the guy in front of him is going to obviously re-break that record. So basically, Aubrey's going to sit in second, sandwiched between Joey Sly. Now, if Sly has a couple bad kickoffs and Aubrey still keeps knocking him out the back of the end zone, Aubrey will break all these records. Not just the number of kickoffs, but the percentage kickoffs.
I mean, think about it this way. It could literally come down to the last week, considering we faced the Commanders in the last week.
Well, it's all percentages, though. It's all the percentages. It's how many times. If he only kicks one more kickoff, if their guy does, I mean, he's going to kick at least 4 more because you got 4 more games.
Yeah.
You got to at least kick off 4 more times. But every touchdown we score, that's another kickoff. So if Aubrey keeps knocking them through the back of the end zone the rest of the weeks, that means we're going to have a lot more kickoffs, which means our number will not, a percentage number will even go up higher. The difference is, if Washington scores enough, then they'll also have enough kickoffs. If their guy keeps knocking it to the back of the end zone, then he will continue to beat Aubrey for the all-time record, which will both be broken this year. Just thought I'd throw it in there. Any quick thoughts on that, maybe, or anything else? Here from the family, the chat, or maybe some shout-outs?
Oatmeal said, I got that guy in 2 of my leagues. I knew it was Aubrey.
Aubrey's hitting them big points for you guys.
Heck,
you got him.
Yeah, and you know what else, guys?
What's up?
What else you got to be hitting? That like, hitting subscribe, hitting that notification bell. Follow us anywhere and everywhere at MyCowboysFamily. Hop in the Discord, link for that's in the description box down below. And guys, we are, I believe, right near, close to wrapping things up,
here.
right?
Yeah, well, we got to take a real quick look at the Bills real quick. But
of course, take a step, like I said, hit like, subscribe, hit the bell, follow us anywhere and everywhere. Extra special shout out to the sponsor of the week and the membership king, Jason Renfro.
Woo, Jason Renfro running
Mark Hovsepian, bossing it around with 75 points on the board. Woo. And Stanley Smith, a tip of the Cash App King cap to you.
Yeah, he's got that crown there. The leader there, though, currently, IB Thunder. got a 10 in it. 10 is leading the Cash App currently. Overall, Bootzilla in first place, and also the gifting leader with 5. The battle ensues. A lot of ways to drop the love. Thank you guys for this love and support. As we get ready to wrap this one up here, as we take a look at the Buffalo Bills, and playing them. Again, you can drop your emojis if you guys want. I like to put my my different emojis up here, but I like the Josh Allen one the best. I'll keep it this way so you guys know what it is. Now, when you look at this, the first look at the Bills and Cowboys, it's on December 17th, 4:25 Eastern Time, 3:25 Central Time. Cowboys are 10-3. The Bills are 7-6. And the Cowboys opened up as a 1.5 underdogs against the Bills. So right now the Cowboys are 1.5 to lose this game. Bills are favored by 1.5. Although I am hearing, I've seen somebody say 2 points now. The Bills are favorite. I even seen some places saying 2.5 points. Over under is 50 points combined for both teams. But 2.5 points, I'm hearing the Bills are favorite. Interesting. So according to a couple of people out there, I'm not going to mention names, but they reporting that how do the Cowboys feel about these betting odds for Week 15? According to Mike Fisher, he said in one outlet, he didn't say which one, is calling this a, quote, disrespectful move by the NFL and a big slap to the face of America's team. I don't really give a good goddamn about the damn point spread, Mike Fisher. I don't care. So, okay, they're favored by 1.5, 2.5 points. Who gives a shit? Let's just beat them. And who cares what they're favored by? So that's the way you fix any disrespect felt. For this game, the Cowboys will be wearing their usual, their home white jerseys, right? We're going to wear them here on the road at Buffalo with our usual, what's those pants that we, seafoam pants?
The seafoam green pants.
Yeah, and of course our silver helmets. That's our usual look when we're in our white jerseys. The Bills will be in their blue jerseys, their darker blue jerseys there, right? They're gonna have the white helmets with the white with the Buffalo Bill insignia. Hopefully at the end of the game, we'll be bleeding out like this. They still haven't announced what their pants are gonna look like. It might be all blue, or they might have it, white with the stripe. But that's the way we're gonna suit up here. We're going with our home white uniforms like we usually use there. Now, injuries for this game. We have one injury that is definitely on the list. Yeah. Of course, J-Ron Kearse is banged up. Donovan Wilson's got a little bit of a flu. You got, I said about Kearse, he was looking to go okay, but you also had, Zach Martin, a little gimpy there. Brandon Cooks twisted his ankle. We'll see these guys on the injury report tomorrow, but the one guy we know is definitely going to be on there. It's a big question mark this week and maybe the next couple of weeks. Jonathan Hankins. Our defensive tackle, interior run-stop helper. Big guy we might not have. That's a guy to look for this week on the injury report. When it comes to the Bills, as you can see, they're a lot more injured than we are even. They have, right now, their cornerback, Kair Elam. He's out. He's on IR right now. I don't think he's on the verge of coming back. They got 3 guys that all got hurt, or got hurt this last game that are questionable right now. Until we see the reports come out tomorrow, what are they going to be at? Dalton Kincaid, their starting tight end. He's questionable. He got hurt. Micah Hyde, the safety, he also got hurt. These are starters right there. AJ Espinoza, he's a defensive edge rusher. He's also questionable. He got hurt. When it comes to the leaders on these teams, we know Dak Prescott. 312 completions out of 450 passes, over 3,500 yards, 28 touchdowns, leading the entire NFL, and only 6 interceptions. Josh Allen, he's thrown, 25 more passes and completed only 6 more than Dak Prescott for about 55 yards less than Dak Prescott. So he's about 33,447. He has 25 touchdowns. I think he's second behind Dak Prescott in touchdowns, but Dak has 6 picks. Josh Allen has 14 interceptions. And I don't know how many fumbles. Now, unfortunately, Dak did have a fumble this past week. Cost us 7 points. Rushing-wise,
he got it out of his system.
Yeah, he got it out when we didn't need to really have it, right, for that Philly game. But the Tony Pollard has 196 carries for 796 yards. Man, I hope Pollard in 4 games can pull up with 1,000 yards. He's almost at 800, so he should get 1,000 yards. I think Pollard gets 1,000 yards this year. He has 5 touchdowns currently for the Cowboys on the ground. And then you got their guy here, Cook running the ball for them, 163 carries for 789 yards. Very similar to Pollard, except they don't really get touchdown. They don't really score on the ground. He has one rushing touchdown on their side. And then on our offensive side, of course, receiving side, you got CeeDee Lamb, 96 catches, 1,253 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Stephon Diggs having a good year as well, but not as good as CeeDee Lamb. He's about, 9 back in receptions to CeeDee Lamb. He has 87. He's about 300 yards back on CeeDee Lamb there, 250 back on receiving yards. He has about 993. And he also has 8 touchdowns like CeeDee Lamb. So best of the best, CeeDee's still better than the other Diggs, not our Trayvon Diggs. Nah. So when you look at the storylines and things that are going to happen for this game, listen, let's talk about the Bills. This is a first look, guys. So I don't know if the answers yet to all these questions. We're going to dive deeper on the Bills' offense tomorrow versus our defense, and then on Thursday we're going to take a look at our offense versus their defense. We're going to have some keys to victory and must-win matchups on Friday and Saturday, and then of course, game day, Sunday. But let me just take a quick look at overview of this Buffalo team. The Bills haven't been as dominant as at home as the Cowboys have been. Obviously, no one has been as dominant. The Cowboys are the only team that are undefeated at home. The Bills are 5-1 though at home. So they've only lost one game at home, and that was a last-second loss to the Denver Broncos. So they play very well at home. Keep that in mind. That was a Monday night game that they should have lost. And they should have won, actually, and Denver pulled out a lucky win there. So the Bills are they were technically the home team for their loss in London to the Jacksonville Jaguars. So they actually lost a home game, but since it was in London, it didn't actually obviously count as a home game for them. So they 5-1. They played 7 games though of their home games. They have one left after. I guess this might be the last one here. So injuries though are catching up to a lot of the teams. Like we talked about ours, and I just told you guys some of their injury list on their guys. Safety Micah Hyde currently today was listed as week to week by head coach Sean McDermott after he exited the game against Kansas City. So that's a guy you got to watch this week. Micah Hyde, their starting safety. He's dangerous. I hope they get him back because I want him full blast for us. I don't want no excuses. He has a stinger in his neck. We know how stingers go sometimes. Micah Hyde has been bothered by neck injuries, not just this game, but earlier this season. He's been banged up at the neck. So this is a thing to watch. Also, like I said, they're starting tight end rookie Dalton Kincaid. He's battling a tough shoulder injury. And, they're going to see if we got to keep an eye on him this week. Defensive end AJ Espinoza also left last week's game against Kansas City with a rib injury. So another guy to watch as well. 3 starters, question marks for them. We got 1 starter that's a question mark right now. Buffalo Bills right now, people forget about they only remember the Kadarius Toney thing, right? Josh Allen. You see here's Josh Allen's depiction of a Buffalo Bill, by the way, in case you're wondering. But the Bills won that game last week. Even though everyone's talking about Toney and Mahomes getting pissed and the referees, the Bills won. They won the game. They upset the defending Super Bowl champions. They almost beat the Eagles the week before that. If they had fucking won that game, it would have been so much better. But now, despite Buffalo's 7-6 record, they're obviously playing at a much higher level than their record is right now. And they're playing it again. They're playing their best game against some of their best football against some of the best teams currently, like the Eagles and the Chiefs, for example.
So it is a little bit different than some other teams that have similar records, just because of the talent they faced and the actual wins and who they got them against.
And some people say that would be us, but hey, we play the Eagles, we beat their ass in. Now, Josh Allen's picture of a Buffalo Bill. Quarterback Josh Allen is among the leaders in a lot of categories out there in the NFL, but it's not always a good thing. He's 7th in the NFL in passing yards. I mean, Dak's in front of him. But he's third in rushing touchdowns. He's third in rushing yards for quarterbacks. He has 374 rushing yards. And remember, he's a big guy. He is hard to tackle. He's a problem if you think you're going to tackle him with Jordan Lewis. He ain't going to do it. But Josh Allen is also tied for the league lead with 14 interceptions. The league leader in interceptions, Josh Allen. And he's thrown at least one interception in 9 straight games. So there should be a pick coming for us in this game. Will it be a bland pick 6 for number 6? I don't know. We'll see. Now, this was supposed to be the Trayvon Diggs versus Stephon Diggs, brother versus brother matchup. between Stephon and Trayvon. That's not happening. The ACL injury to Trayvon Diggs, obviously out for the year. And the Bills receiver, Stephon Diggs, is coming off his lowest receiving total of the season so far, despite their win against the Chiefs. He only had 24 receiving yards and 4 catches. He was targeted 11 times, caught 4 of them. But this is the 8th game this year in which he's had at least 11 targets. They're still targeting him. He was just not able to get the ball in his hands this time around, coverage or drops, whatever it may be. This week we got to lock down Stephon Diggs, or he will continue to make an issue for us. Some of that's getting pressure on Josh Allen, and a lot of that is who is going to be playing him. We're going to go Gilmore, we're going to go with the Gilly Lock, or we're going to go with the Bland Man. We're going to see what happens this week. Now, I will say, as I leave this Josh Allen picture up for a minute, examples of Buffalo's talent, without no one's saying here that, I know people say, oh, Dak sucks. I'm not saying that there's no way I'm saying Josh Allen sucks. The Josh Allen-led offense has earned the reputation to put up these offensive numbers from Josh Allen and the way that their offense is kind of moving. They are putting up some big numbers. Buffalo averages 5.8 yards per play. That is 5th best in the NFL. So right now they're averaging almost 6 yards per play, pass or run combined. That's 5th best. We are 6th best on offense, by the way, at 5.7 yards per play. So just gives you an idea. We have a very efficient offense. So does Buffalo. And if they look like a goddamn Buffalo Wild Wings. My point is, they are efficient running or passing on offense. Keep that in mind as we get a deeper look this week. I also want to say when it comes to our defense, our big D, we've registered 21 turnovers this year. That is the 4th most in the NFL. That means fumbles or interceptions, the 4th most. Now, most of our turnovers were interceptions. We had 1 fumble recovery all year. Until last week, we got 3 more. So we have 4 fumble recoveries, 17 interceptions by a team, combined to 21 turnovers. That is the 4th most in the NFL. The Bills, by the way, on offense, they've turned the ball over a total of 21 times. Fumbles or interceptions. Their offense has turned the ball over the same amount of times we've gotten the ball from teams and caused turnovers. We're the 4th. We've taken the ball away, the 4th most in the NFL. The Bills have given up the ball. They turned the ball over, the 5th most in the NFL. So if you want to see something that can happen there, turnovers, causing turnovers. We know Allen should throw a pick, but they also fumble. As a team, they turn over the ball, they give the ball up. We take the ball up a lot. That should be one of those deciding factors that should help sway the game our direction. The Cowboys also, let me reiterate this, we rank 2nd in the NFL in turnover differential. That means that we don't turn the ball over on offense, and we get that goddamn ball on defense. This is an area which the Buffalo Bills are far from elite. The Cowboys are 10-3, and the Bills don't get as many turnovers as we do when it comes to this kind of stuff here. They have an efficient offense, but their turnover rate is not like ours. The ratio, the difference is not like ours. The differential is not like ours when it comes to their defense. Although they have a good defense, they have a damn good offense too. They're far from elite when it comes to turnover differential. The Cowboys are 10-3. The Bills are 7-6, and they're still alive for pursuit of the AFC East. I know you say, well, the Dolphins, but the Dolphins, they're 9-4 now. They're 2 games up on the Bills with 4 games to go after that stunning loss to the Titans, which they could have wrapped up a lot of things and made the Bills a lot less alive for the playoffs. But the Cowboys, the big thing I'm looking at for the Cowboys, how are we going to play on the road? Our last road game was against the Panthers, and we struggled. It was 17-10 in the 4th quarter in that game. The Cowboys are 3-3 this year. We lost to the Cardinals on the road, the Niners on the road, and the Eagles on the road. We're 3-3 this year. We won 3, we lost 3 on the road this year. And us, of course, we're 10-3. Our 3 losses were all on the road. If you look at last year as well, though, here's the crazy part. Look at last year. Regular season and playoffs, over the course of 2 seasons, the Cowboys are 7-8 away from home. So we're about 500 or below 500. We're 500 this year, and in 2 years, we're below 500 on the road. So this is a big game on the road. We got to kind of beat the drumsticks and Buffalo Bill
back upwards again.
Exactly.
We know, like you said, baby, even if we're like, the only way we don't end up playing a road game is if we're the second seed, and even then...
Or the third seed.
Well, then we get...
We get one home game.
We get one, at least. So, but the point is that...
We get two if we're second seed.
We're still on the side of probably not having a home game than having one.
So we got to get our road woes fixed.
Exactly. That's going to be huge.
We'll see. We're going to have to do it against the Buffalo Bill.
So, in sorting, it's all good. Just, go chew some gum, drink some water.
Yeah, man. Hey.
Are you sure MCF is what you should be listening to? I feel like...
Yeah, right now he's probably going through his withdrawals. So, just let him get through it. He'll be all right. He'll be all right for the MCF After Dark session. But Buffalo Bill, that's our next opponent. We got to take care of them. And, baby, I want to know a couple quick thoughts from the family as we wrap it up here tonight. Everybody hit that like, subscribe, and notification bell. And calling it a shorty tonight here, a cowboy quickie on MCF.
Jason Renfro saying, MCF, you can't call them the Bills. You got to call them the Smells.
Yes, the Buffalo Smells.
You guys are cracking me up. We were trying to figure out what that buffalo leg emoji was. I'm like, it's a Buffalo Wild Wing. Someone's like, is it a bison leg?
A drumstick?
Bruce got the text that you said it's the munchies hour. I'm not saying I'm getting hungry. Anyone got some buffalo jerky? Right?
Let's make him a
Seabass saying, Cowboys coming at this Buffalo with the 577 Nitro Express. Corporate Liaison saying score prediction: Cowboys 35, Bills 27. I like that one.
We're gonna talk about them later in the week. I gotta really break down these guys without saying score predictions for me yet. I gotta see what they bring, some more numbers, some more of their pros and cons, and I'll tell you how we're gonna beat this team come Friday, Saturdays. We'll have it all written down and figured out for you guys here at MCF. You know we do here.
Of course. So let me go ahead and do the final shout-outs here, wrap things up, right? Real Shit, Frame Rippers, Corporate Liaison, Bruce Got the Toxic Juice, Seabass, Mike Aldana, Swerton, Lil Santos Pale Moon. We got Eric Black in the house.
Yeah.
Let me see. Snug X, of course, representing.
Snug.
Let me roll back a little bit more. Let me see. Dirty South MVP, what's up? We have...
The Huffalo.
Daniel Berry Sports, Asmodeus.
The Huffalo Smells.
Shaquille Oatmeal.
Love that name.
Yeah, I think that's as far back as I can go. So let me come back down. And yes, guys, the expectation is that Hankins will be replaced by Carl Davis, but obviously the Cowboys have not officially announced anything on that side of things yet.
Yeah, that'll be tomorrow. We'll hear more.
Exactly.
Carl Davis seems to be the guy. I think it's Mozzie Smith, Neville Gallimore, and then a guy like Carl Davis, who will be... I think Carl Davis will be brought up on the elevated from the practice squad, but we got ways to go with that. We'll see how practice goes this week and take it from there. But it sounds like it's this was said yesterday. Mozzie Smith. I think Neville Gallimore will get a couple snaps in there, and if we need to, we elevate Carl Davis.
I know, but like I said, we'll talk about that more tomorrow once we actually know what's going on with their Cowboys.
Baby,
right?
I want you to tell me, why do we do this here on this little channel, on this little part of YouTube, every single day of the night and week here on MCF? Why do we do this?
Could it have something to do with the navy blue? That silver, too, that star over everything.
Oh, it does. It does. Make sure you guys remember, win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly, here we rep that star over everything. And, of course, here on this channel, on YouTube, for 6+ years and beyond. Make sure you guys remember. And never forget, the number one thing, here, now, and forever, as always, go Cowboys! Let's get that 6 and beyond. Thank you all for dropping the knowledge in the chat all night long. And of course, can't do this without you guys' drops of love from above. Extra special shout outs to Skeptical Fan Gifting Membership. Clark motherfucking Kent in the house. Thank you guys for dropping the love. As we say, exit stage left and clock out and drop out for the night before we can relock and reload for a breakdown of this Cowboy Big D against the little Buffalo offense. Before we can do that, and that's tomorrow's show, along with all the other news, info, and updates, our practice day, the injury report, on and on and on. We'll talk about it all. Baby, before we can drop out of here, what we got to do?
We got to drop the beat.
Oh, yeah. That beat's officially dropped. It's a wrap right here on MCF, My Cowboys Family, where it's always about that star over everything. Guys, hope you enjoyed the show tonight. We're rearing up for another one tomorrow. We got our first look at the Bills. It's time to put that Buffalo Wild Wing sauce on them and end them come Sunday. You know it. Drop them if you got them right now. And, of course, here, remember, it's a wrap right here at MCF for another Cowboys chat in the books, guys. Yep, Jerry Jones spoke about the Dak money, the Dak connection with McCarthy. You know, Micah's coming to town in Buffalo, getting ready to get down, and then spill some Buffalo Bill blood with number 17 in his crosshairs there, Mr. Josh Allen, interception king. We're coming for him, and that defense is coming for him. We can't wait to explore this and more in the upcoming days, right here this week on My Cowboys Family, here in MCF, where it's about that navy blue, that silver too, that star over everything. Never, ever forget the number one thing right here on My Cowboys Family. Much love to everyone, even the haters. Appreciate you all in the house here with us. Again, don't forget to hit the like button for the stream, hit subscribe for the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when we're going live. We'll see you back here tomorrow for another one. Have a good night, everyone. Stay safe. Peace. And never, ever, 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 never, ever forget. Go Cowboys!
Monk on the